What happens when a father's anger reaches such an extent that he hands over his own son to the god of death? And what happens when that child, upon reaching Yamaloka, asks death itself the secret of immortality? This is not a fabricated story, but a remarkable episode described in our Upanishads. It is the tale of the fearless boy, Nachiketa, who stubbornly obtained from Yamaraj the knowledge that is considered rare even for the gods. This is the dialogue that is the heart of the Kathopanishad, a dialogue that showed the way to overcome the fear of death and reveal the true meaning of immortality. Today, we will embark on that same wonderful and mysterious journey. We will learn how even the god of death had to bow before the resolve of a boy, and how the deepest secrets of the soul, the supreme soul, and death were unveiled. This story is not just an ancient tale, but the key to self knowledge, which is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. So let us go to that sacrificial hall where this extraordinary story began. In the sacred land of ancient India, amidst dense forests and serene ashrams, Sejavajasrava began the grand sacrifice of Vishwajit Mahayagya. It was vowed that at the end of the yajna, he would donate all his possessions. The atmosphere was purified by the chanting of mantras, and everything was progressing with grandeur. During those days, his son, Nachiketa, though a child, was serious, inquisitive, and truth loving. While other children played, he would sit among the sages, listening to and contemplating the knowledge shared. In the final stage of the yajna, Nachiketa saw that his father was giving old and useless cows as charity, cows that were of no use to anyone. He remembered that charity should always be of the best items. Such charity does not bring merit but rather unfortunate consequences. Concerned for his father's welfare, he humbly asked how this charity would benefit him, but Vajasrava ignored him. Nachiketa thought that if the father truly wished to donate everything, then shouldn't he also donate his beloved son? He then asked, "O father, to whom will you donate me?" Receiving no answer, he repeated the same question a third time. Annoyed by the repeated interruptions, Vajasrava unknowingly uttered harsh words: "I give you to death. I give you to Yama." Spoken in the sanctity of the sacrifice, these words could no longer be taken back. In a moment, Vajasrava realized his mistake, but there was not even a shadow of fear on Nachiketa's face. He comforted his father and said that protecting the truth is paramount. Accepting the mortal truth of life with ease, he said that humans are like the grains in a field. They grow, are harvested, and then return. Therefore, there is no reason for sorrow. Vajasrava was left speechless. With a heavy heart, he bid farewell to his son. Nachiketa saluted his father and set out alone on the path to protect truth and righteousness, a path that leads directly to Yamaloka, from which no one is said to return. Yet, that very path today forms the heart of an Upanishad illuminating humanity. Nachiketa's journey to Yamaloka was not an ordinary one. He passed through the path where usually only souls travel, relying on truth and determination. Eventually, he reached the gates of Yampuri, but Yamaraj was not present there. His messengers informed him that the god of death would return after 3 days. Now, a new test lay before Nachiketa. He was a guest, and a Brahmin boy at that, but the host was absent. Nachiketa resolved that until Yamaraj himself came to welcome him, he would not consume any food or water. Hospitality is the foremost rule of Dharma, and he remained steadfast in upholding that Dharma. Thus the boy sat fasting at the gates of Yamlok for 3 days and 3 nights. Neither did he complain of hunger nor of thirst. This was his penance, his inner strength, that stood unwavering like light even in the realm of death without fear. After 3 days, when Yamaraj returned and saw a Brahmin boy performing penance at his gate, he became concerned. Scriptures say that a guest is like God, and causing them distress diminishes the host's virtues. How could Dharmaraj Yama himself commit unrighteousness? They immediately reached Nachiketa. Seeing the boy's brilliance, patience, and extraordinary restraint, they were deeply impressed. They humbly said, "O Brahmin boy, you stayed hungry and thirsty at my door for 3 nights. This is my fault. As atonement, I grant you 3 boons. Ask for all 3 boons according to your wish." Nachiketa calmly opened his eyes. His penance had been successful. Now he was about to move towards the goal for which he had come all the way to Yamaloka. Hearing Yamaraj's words, Nachiketa calmly asked for his first boon, that when he returned to earth, his father's anger would be completely pacified, his mind freed from remorse, and he would accept him with love as before. Asking for his father's peace, before requesting anything for himself, revealed the deep love and respect residing in Nachiketa's heart. Pleased with his filial devotion, Yamaraj said that Vajashrava would be filled with affection upon seeing him. Having received the first boon, Nachiketa was assured and he asked for the second boon, the path to attain heaven. He said that in heaven there is no fear, old age, or death. Their hunger and thirst do not trouble, and beings live in bliss. He desired the knowledge of the fire ritual by which a person earns merit and reaches heaven. This knowledge was considered secret and extremely difficult. Yamaraj, recognizing his worthiness, explained the complete secret of the fire ritual, how the fire is kindled, and by which methods the sacrifice is perfected. Nachiketa, with extraordinary memory, immediately grasped everything and recited it back to Yamaraj without any error. Impressed by his talent, Yamaraj granted an additional boon. This fire knowledge would now be known as Nachiketa Agni, and whoever performs its three rituals will, upon reaching heaven, transcend the sorrows of birth and death and experience great peace. Even after these two boons, Nachiketa's most important question remained, the question that was rare even for the gods. Now it was time for the third and final boon. Nachiketa looked firmly into Yamaraj's eyes and asked the question that no one else had dared to ask. He said, O Lord of Death, there is much doubt regarding the soul after a person's death. Some say the soul remains, others say everything ends. You are the master of death. Who better than you can know this mystery? My third boon is this. Please reveal to me the secret of death and grant me true knowledge of the soul. Yamaraj became serious upon hearing this. This was a question of Brahma Vidya, extremely subtle and difficult even for the gods. He decided to test Nachiketa. He said, O Nachiketa, this question is very profound. It is not easy even for the gods to understand. Give up this boon and ask for something else instead. But Nachiketa remained steadfast. He humbly said that since this knowledge is rare even for the gods, there could be no better teacher than Yamaraj himself to impart it. Therefore, this boon was the most important for him. Seeing Nachiketa's determination, Yamaraj wanted to test him by tempting him with worldly pleasures. He said, Nachiketa, leave this question. Instead, ask for sons and grandsons who will live for 100 years. Ask for countless animals, elephants, horses, gold, and silver. If you wish, I can even give you the kingdom of this earth. Whatever lifespan you desire, I will grant it to you. I will give you celestial nymphs and great comforts and luxuries. Enjoy all these, just do not ask this secret. They were presenting all the pleasures of human life, which people spend their entire lives trying to attain. But Nachiketa calmly replied, O Lord of Death, all these pleasures are fleeting here today, gone tomorrow. They also weaken the power of the senses. A long life is insignificant before the infinite. Keep your elephants, horses, and music with you. He further said, A person is never satisfied with wealth, and now that I have seen you, wealth will surely come. As long as you wish, I will live. The true boon for me to know is the secret of death. Nachiketa made it clear that he did not want pleasure, which seems dear but ultimately brings sorrow. He wanted merit, the path of welfare that leads to self knowledge. Seeing Nachiketa's firmness, wisdom, and detachment, Yama's heart melted. He realized that this boy was truly worthy of divine knowledge, and his test was now complete. All the temptations of Yamaraj paled in comparison to Nachiketa's resolve for self realization. His unwavering decision seemed to demonstrate that even the greatest pleasures become meaningless in the pursuit of truth. If Nachiketa's determination touches a deep inspiration within you as well, then join us on this journey of knowledge. Subscribe to the channel now to continuously listen to such life transforming teachings of the Upanishads so that you don't miss any upcoming milestone. After Nachiketa's test was completed, Yamaraj happily said that he had chosen the better of the two paths. Before a person, there are always two options: Preya and Shreya. Preya is that which gives immediate pleasure but ultimately leads astray. Shreya is that which appears difficult but leads to welfare and freedom. Nachiketa chose Shreya without hesitation. While ordinary people, immersed in ignorance, spend their lives chasing Preya and wander in the cycle of birth and death, like blind men following another blind man, Yamaraj then began to reveal the profound mystery for which Nachiketa had come to Yamaloka. He said that this truth is not attained through cleverness, nor through the elaboration of scriptures, nor through sharp intellect. This knowledge is attained only by the one whom the soul itself accepts, one who is a true seeker at heart. He further said that the difficulty of this path is also unique. The wise describe it as sharp and subtle like the edge of a knife. But the seeker should not be discouraged. This is why the Upanishads call out Uttishta, Jagrata, Prapya Varan Nibodhata, arise, awake, and having reached the best teacher, know this truth. Thus the door to Nachiketa's questions had opened, and Yama was now leading him towards that divine knowledge of the soul which is considered the ultimate purpose of human life. Yamaraj presented a very beautiful and simple metaphor to explain the nature of the soul, the chariot analogy. He said to see this body as a chariot. The soul is the master sitting in this chariot. The body is the chariot in which the journey is taking place. The intellect is the charioteer who determines the direction. The mind is the reins that the charioteer holds. And the senses are the five horses that keep running towards the outside world. The objects, form, taste, smell, touch, and sound are the paths of the horses that attract them. Yamaraj explained that if the charioteer is unwise and the reins of the mind are loose, the senses become uncontrollable and rush down the path of indulgence and pleasure. Such a person remains entangled in the cycle of the world throughout life and moves away from their goal. But the one whose intellect is disciplined and whose mind is controlled, their senses follow the path of spiritual practice. That practitioner attains the supreme goal called liberation and becomes free from the bonds of birth and death. After this, Yamaraj described the imperishable nature of the soul and gave an immortal teaching, the essence of which is also heard in the Bhagavad Gita, that the soul neither takes birth nor dies. It is eternal, everlasting, and ancient. Even when the body is destroyed, it does not perish. He said that the soul is subtler than the subtlest, yet also more vast than the vastest. It is always present in the cave-like heart of every living being. A practitioner who is free from desire and sorrow, and who calms the mind and senses, alone realizes its divine form. Yamaraj explained that the soul is soundless, intangible, and formless. It has no shape, no touch, and no decay. It is eternal and without beginning. Whoever realizes this truth is forever freed from the fear of death and experiences immortality. As soon as Nachiketa attained supreme knowledge from Yamaraj, all his doubts were resolved. He understood the immortal nature of the soul and realized the profound truth of life. Yamaraj blessed him and sent him back to earth, where his father embraced him with love. But the question is, why is this story, thousands of years old, still so important in our lives today? Today's era is even more alluring than the temptations that Yamaraj showed to Nachiketa. Endless scrolling on social media, web series, online offers, these are all modern day temptations. Providing momentary pleasure, they continuously drain our energy, attention, and time. The same attachment, the same attraction, only the form has changed. The story of Nachiketa inspires us to pause and reflect. Are we also living our lives chasing after the uncontrolled horses of the senses? Or do we have a wise charioteer within us who holds the reins of the mind? The Kathopanishad gives us the message to choose what is beneficial, a balanced life, spiritual progress, along with material advancement, and the path to inner peace. Through meditation, yoga, and self study, we can recognize the soul that neither takes birth nor dies. When the understanding deepens that the body is mortal but the soul is immortal, fear, failure, and loss lose their impact. Our perspective broadens and life begins to seem effortless. The story reminds us that true freedom lies not in external things but in the inner quest. If a boy could dare this, then why can't we? We just need to awaken the Nachiketa within us, the curious, truth loving voice that walks not behind the crowd, but towards the truth. Whenever you face a choice between the desirable and the beneficial, remember for a moment that Nachiketa who obtained the secret of immortality from the god of death. If this story has ignited the light of knowledge within you, then pass it on. Share this video with those who need spiritual guidance the most. Tell us in the comments which quality of Nachiketa inspires you the most, and if you want to delve deeper into eternal knowledge, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. The journey of knowledge continues. In the next video, we will move towards the mystery of another Upanishad. Until then, arise, awake, keep rising, keep awakening. Thank you for your time and your presence.